At this moment, Buggy announced to the Cross Guild they would shake the entire world. On the side of Sengoku and Suru, they were worried because many Marines had been hunted down. This made them feel uncomfortable because now the Marines are also being targeted by the pirates with bounties. They realized they needed to quickly eliminate the Cross Guild, otherwise, the Marines would continue to weaken. Suddenly, Sengoku saw Hina, so he asked where Garp was. But Hina said that Garp had gone to rescue Copy. This surprised Sengoku, because they had intruded into the territory of Blackbeard on their own. Meanwhile, Buggy was very pleased, because this person had killed a vice admiral. This made him very worried, because from now on, he would be pursued by the Marines. But Buggy said he would accept him into his crew. This made everyone very happy, because Buggy was one of the 4 emperors. At this moment, Buggy's subordinate announced the Cross Guild's ship was completed. This made him very excited, so Buggy went to check out his ship, which shocked Buggy because this ship looked just like him. This made Buggy terrified. Suddenly, Crocodile and Mahawk arrived. They were very displeased because Buggy had previously promised to build them an amazing ship, but the ship was too ugly. So, Crocodile and Mahawk took Buggy into the meeting room to beat him, because Buggy was merely a puppet for Crocodile and Mahawk. At this point, Crocodile realized that they had become a threat to the Marines, therefore, they needed to build a military nation. They could even threaten any force. Meanwhile, Buggy was very worried, because this was not the life he had dreamed of, and he was just a decoration for Cross Guild, which made Buggy feel very distressed. So, he decided to reclaim his voice. Suddenly, he began to blame Crocodile and Mahawk, because their goals were too small. This made Crocodile and Mahawk start paying attention to him. Buggy said that Shanks' crew had begun to act to obtain One Piece. Buggy told them he and Shanks were once members on the Pirate King's ship, but Buggy fell ill before reaching the final island. So, Shanks stayed behind to take care of Buggy. Therefore, neither he nor Shanks has ever been to Laugh-Tale, and it was Shanks who made him give up on his dream. It turns out that 24 years ago, right after Roger was executed, Buggy asked Shanks to go to Laugh-Tale with him. But Shanks changed his mind and no longer wanted to search for One Piece. This left Buggy in shock, because he always thought Shanks would become the next Pirate King. At that time, Shanks still asked Buggy to come with him, but Buggy refused and left in disappointment. Since then, Buggy always viewed Shanks as his enemy. Now, Buggy doesn't understand why Shanks decided to take action. So, Buggy shouted, "I want to become the Pirate King." Unexpectedly, he continued to be beaten by Crocodile and Mahawk. They thought Buggy was only good at talking. He didn't even have any plans to deal with the other Yonko. Suddenly, Buggy decided to prove himself. He then grabbed a transponder snail and announced to all his subordinates, "Let's go get the One Piece together." Which excited everyone. On the Revolutionary Army's side of Dragon, they received news that Sabo had returned. This made everyone very happy, because Sabo was still safe. When seeing Sabo, Koala was very pleased. At this moment, Sabo told everyone he returned by the ship from Lulusia. This surprised Ivankov, because that kingdom had disappeared, and Sabo had brought the refugees from Lulusia here. Suddenly, Koala kicked Sabo, because she was very worried about Sabo, and he hadn't bothered to contact them. However, Koala was very happy that Sabo had returned. At this moment, Sabo met with Dragon. They are very worried about Kuma. So, Sabo decided to tell Dragon and Ivankov all the terrible things he had seen at Mary Joie's. At this moment, Sabo said he had completed all his missions, and he had rescued many slaves and Kuma. Dragon said that 8 out of 12 countries had been inspired and rebelled by the Revolutionary Army, but one of them, Lulusia, had disappeared. Even Sabo had witnessed everything. However, the disappearance of Lulusia is still being covered up by the world government. Ivankov said that the Revolutionary Army had blocked the world government's food supplies, so they would have no money or food. But Dragon was worried. When the gods' knights appear, their battle will begin. Ivankov said that Sabo is the target of the world government. At this moment, Dragon remarked that King Cobra is a skilled and benevolent king. However, Sabo is being accused of assassinating him. So, Sabo began to tell them about King Cobra's death, because he witnessed everything at Mary Joie's. It turns out that 1 month ago, at the Reverie Conference, Sabo destroyed the world government's food storage. This made the celestial dragons furious. So, they took their anger out on the guards and slaves. When the slave could no longer endure the torture, it caused the celestial dragon to fall. So, he decided to execute the man. Suddenly, Karasu appeared and took the gun from him. He didn't know who he was. But Karasu immediately subdued him. Suddenly, Cypher Pole agents appeared. They attacked Karasu. This caused him to disappear. They thought they had defeated Karasu. Unexpectedly, Karasu appeared behind them and immediately defeated them. It turns out Karasu is one of the commanders of the Revolutionary Army. Suddenly, he sensed two very powerful hockey presences. It turns out Fujitora and Ryokugayu had arrived. At this moment, Mary Joie was still under attack. This terrified the Celestial Dragons. Another commander of the Revolutionary Army freed the slaves. This made them very happy. It turns out his name is Lindbergh. Meanwhile, Fujitora sensed a very powerful enemy. Karasu created crows to attack him. However, Fujitora blocked them. This surprised Karasu. At this moment, a giant was attacking the Celestial Dragons. This made them terrified. He was revealed to be Morley, a commander of the Revolutionary Army. Suddenly, Ryokugayu appeared. He released his devil fruit power and attacked Morley. However, Morley was able to block the attack. Unexpectedly, Ryokugayu was very strong. He immediately captured Morley. However, the Celestial Dragon scolded him. He said that Ryokugayu should not let the Celestial Dragons be harmed. This made Ryokugayu uncomfortable. Meanwhile, Fujitora was summoning a meteorite to this location. At this moment, the CP0 agents realized that the Revolutionary Army had infiltrated, so they decided to deal with them. On Sabo's side, he had infiltrated the castle. He found two Celestial Dragons who had captured Kuma. It turned out that the Celestial Dragon had wanted to capture Shirahoshi earlier, but he was struck by another Celestial Dragon because he dared to insult the Mermaid Princess. At this moment, Sabo realized he still intended to capture Shirahoshi as his pet, so he decided he wouldn't let that happen, and he was determined to save Kuma. Meanwhile, Bonnie was still searching for her father. At this time, Vivi was still being watched by Lucy, making Vivi angry and wanting to drive him away. It turned out that Vivi was worried about Shirahoshi because the CP0 had not protected her. Meanwhile, Cobra was heading to the room of the five elders, but his two subordinates were stopped by the guards because only Cobra was allowed inside. So, he told his two subordinates to return and protect Vivi. At this moment, Sabo began to act. He managed to steal the keys from the guards, so they continuously attacked Sabo, but quickly, Sabo defeated them. Suddenly, Sabo encountered Bonnie. This surprised him. Bonnie said, "We have the same goal." It turned out that Sabo knew Bonnie was Kuma's daughter. Bonnie also trusted the Revolutionary Army. She knew they wanted to rescue her father, so Sabo handed the key to Karasu's crow. This was to free the slaves in Kuma. At this moment, Bonnie told Sabo that she would go to Egghead to find Vegapunk because she wanted to find a way to restore her father's consciousness. Suddenly, Sabo realized that the soldiers were closing in, so Sabo pulled Bonnie and jumped up. Thanks to this, the soldiers couldn't see them. However, Sabo overheard the soldiers' conversation. They mentioned that there was a secret room in Mary Joie. This surprised Sabo. At this moment, Sabo and Bonnie had escaped outside. Because Bonnie was going to Egghead, Sabo wished her good luck, leaving Bonnie feeling confused. Because he is a Revolutionary Army member but treats a pirate like her kindly, Sabo said. "We both want to save the same person," so Bonnie left. Meanwhile, Sabo was curious about the secret room. He decided to go investigate. Meanwhile, Cobra entered the room of the five elders alone. He was surprised. Inside the room was an empty throne. There were many rusty swords around. Suddenly, the five elders appeared. They asked, "What do you want to ask?" Cobra then asked them. The world government was established by 20 countries 800 years ago. The founders came to Mary Joie, and they are called the Celestial Dragons. However, these 20 countries wanted to treat each other equally, so they deliberately created the empty throne to prevent anyone from becoming a dictator. Meanwhile, the names of the 20 kings who came to Mary Joie will be erased from their kingdoms. But Arabasta was different. Queen Lily still retains her name among the original 20. And she refused to become a celestial dragon, to return to Arabasta. So, now there are only 19 forbidden swords around the empty throne. However, what Cobra is curious about is, he has read the entire history after the Void Century, but he does not see Queen Lily's name, and she never returned to Arabasta. So, Cobra does not know where she went. But, the five elders said that they also didn't know about this, because that event happened a long time ago. Suddenly, Cobra asked, "What is D?" Which surprised the five elders. It turns out that 800 years ago, Lily left a letter for the Nefertari royal family about this. In another room, Imu had vanished. At this moment, Kuma had captured Shirahoshi, which made Charlos very happy. It turns out he wanted to keep her as his pet. This frightened Shirahoshi. Meanwhile, Charlos wanted Shirahoshi to carry him everywhere. But Shirahoshi refused him, and she pleaded for help from everyone. However, they were all frightened and ran away. Suddenly, Shirahoshi's 3 brothers arrived. They were determined to protect their sister, so they immediately attacked Charlos, but he ordered Kuma to attack them. This made Shirahoshi anxious. Suddenly, Rebecca also ran to help Shirahoshi. This made Charlos very angry. When Fukaboshi intended to attack him, Myasgard immediately stopped him, because Fukaboshi would be accused if he attacked a celestial dragon. Suddenly, Leo and Sai struck Charlos on the head, causing him to be forced down to the ground. Kuma then attacked them. But Morley appeared and blocked Kuma, and he took Kuma away, causing everyone to be surprised. Meanwhile, Cobra was still questioning the 5 elders. What is the D? But they did not answer him. Suddenly, Imu appeared, causing the 5 elders to be surprised, because Imu wanted to appear in front of Cobra. So, Imu walked over and sat on the empty throne, surprising Cobra. Today's video ends here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support Oni-chan in the next videos. Thank you for watching. Love you all.